This is the game of the big league debut for Ryan Castellani, and it is up to the man making his first major league start to get the Rockies on the right track. They've lost 9 straight, 18-26 their record now. There is Castellani getting ready, getting his sprints in. He'll be making his major league debut today, so we'll get to see him in the bottom of the first. For now, Pablo Lopez will start for Miami. 10th start of the year, 55 2/3 innings, 36 strikeouts, 23 walks, 122 whip, 45 hits, and 55 2/3 innings. 3.56 ERA, 3-2 is his record on the year. Castellani, now just 24 years old, just turned 24 on April 1st, out of Phoenix, Arizona, was drafted in the second round in 2014 by the Rockies. For now, though, David Dahl leads things off against Pablo Lopez. First pitch is swung on and pulled foul. And Castellani had a 2.14 ERA in AAA Albuquerque to begin this year. There's a pitch outside. Castellani was added to the 40-man roster for the Rockies after the conclusion of the 2018 season. Last year with the Isotopes, went 2-5 with an 8.31 ERA with 10 starts, 47 strikeouts, and 43 1/3 innings. Much better results at AAA to start this season. There's a strike in the outside corner to Dahl. Born on April 1st, 1996. 1-2 pitch from Lopez to Dahl is going to miss low. And swing and a miss. He got him on strikes. That is out number 1. Batter will be Trevor Story now. Batting .263, 10 home runs, 26 runs batted in. Hit his 10th home run of the year last night. Pitch outside. Rockies scored a few runs in the 8th inning, but that was not enough. And they lost their 9th straight game yesterday. Rockies have been much better on the road. Would you believe they've lost 14 straight games at Coors Field? There's a strike, 1 ball, 1 strike. Rockies a few games above 500 on the road. Trevor Story has hit 3 home runs over his last 4 games, so he's certainly not struggling. Into his motion windup, and the 1-1 pitch from Lopez is swung on and grounded towards second base. VR makes the play, and that's out number 2. Take a look at the rest of the lineup for the Rockies today. After Dahl and Story, and Dahl's playing left field today, batting third, the right fielder Charlie Blackmon, batting cleanup, third baseman Nolan Arenado, batting 5th at first base Daniel Murphy, batting 6th at second base Ryan McMahon, batting 7th in center field Garrett Hampson gets the start today. He homered in yesterday's ballgame after coming in as part of a defensive switch. Tony Wolters, catcher, bats 8th, and then Ryan Castellani making his major league debut as the starting pitcher, batting 9th. Charlie Blackmon, 305 on the year, 9 homers, 24 driven in, a 948 OPS. First pitch missed away. The 1-0 is taken on the inside corner for a called strike. Blackmon sitting on 1,294 hits across parts of 9 seasons. Barring some very odd celestial events, he will hit 1,300 hits at some point in the near future. 1-1 pitch is swung on and grounded weakly towards short. The shift was on, and that'll retire the side. We head to the bottom of the first inning, getting ready to see Ryan Castellani make his major league debut. We're scoreless. .24-year-old Ryan Castellani, 6'4", 223 pounds. And he did turn 24 years old, even if this game doesn't recognize it. And that was on April the 1st. Castellani wearing number 60. We mentioned really good numbers in AAA to start the 2020 season in our simulation. First batter he will face is Jonathan VR. 256 on the year, 10 stolen bases, towards the top in the National League. First pitch in the big league career of Ryan Castellani is a bunt, and it's going to be laid down foul. That would be a rude way to greet a youngster making his Major League debut, get a bunt hit off of him. Villar on a 4-game hitting streak. First pitch, well, it'll go in the box score as a strike. 0-1 delivery is swung on and lifted in the air towards right field. Over towards the line is Blackman, and that is the first out. Ryan Castellani, just 2 pitches to get Jonathan Villar. Starting lineup for the Marlins, second baseman Jonathan Villar, batting second the shortstop Miguel Rojas, batting third in left field Corey Dickerson, batting cleanup the first baseman Garrett Cooper, batting fifth the third baseman Brian Anderson, batting sixth and right Kyle Isbell, catcher bat seventh Jorge Alfaro, batting eighth the center fielder Matt Joyce, and then batting ninth the starting pitcher Pablo Lopez. Exact same lineup as yesterday for Miami. Miguel Rojas takes first pitch inside, ball 1. Castellani, you notice the arms go up over his head when he goes into his motion, very much like Max Scherzer. And Scherzer certainly has not had a whole lot of trouble getting hitters out in his big league career. 1-0 pitch. That swung on and fouled away. Rojas on quite a tear right now, hitting over 500 in his last 20 at-bats. 1-1 pitch is taken low and away. Hitters count now on Rojas, 340 on the year. Had a 13-game hitting streak going. Got a couple hits in yesterday's ball game. It was a very early lead for the Marlins. They put up a 4 spot against Antonio Senzatella in yesterday's ball game. Into his motion, the 2-1 pitch is swung on and lined on a hop. Nope, right into the glove of the second baseman McMahon for out number 2. Corey Dickerson, former Rocky, will be the batter. 358 average on the year. Fourth in the National League. 419 on base percentage, very solid as well. 9 homers, 30 driven in for the Marlins left fielder. Gold Glove left fielder. Won a Gold Glove award with the Pittsburgh Pirates a few years ago. 1 for 4 in yesterday's ball game with an RBI double that kicked open the scoring in yesterday's game for Dickerson. 1-0 pitch is going to miss low. Castellani getting the start as German Marquez is no longer with the big league club, being optioned to AAA after a few really rough starts, and a lot of rough starts to begin the year. Pitch outside, 3-0. Garrett Cooper is waiting on deck. Marlins, a game above 500, have been impressive to start the year. Pitch is outside and a 4-pitch walk to Corey Dickerson. That'll break up the perfect game for Ryan Castellani, and Garrett Cooper will be the batter. Cooper 240, 2 home runs, 15 runs batted in on the year. Marlins first baseman. They also have Jesus Aguilar, who has yet to get a start. Did get a pinch hit yesterday. First pitch is taken for a strike, and Dickerson's running, and he's going to be out. Don't dash on the stash. Tony Wolter is helping Ryan Castellani to face the minimum in his first big league inning. We're scoreless after an inning of play. Nolan Arenado, let's see, better at home, but certainly nothing to sneeze at on the road. 321 at Coors Field, 295 away. 6 homers at home, 5 away for Arenado. 308 with 11 homers and 31 runs batted in overall. Ryan McMahon is very slowly creeping up on his RBI total. First pitch here is swung on and lifted towards right center field. On the run for this one is Isbell. He's going to dive, and it's going to be by him and off the wall. Arenado will cruise into second base, and that should be a double to lead off things in the top of the second. And it will be 14th double of the year for Nolan Arenado. We look at doubles leaders on the team. David Dahl has been hitting a ton of doubles, 21. Arenado is just behind Charlie Blackmon and Daniel Murphy, who both have 15. Trevor Story has 10, Ryan McMahon 9. Then Chris Owings has 4 doubles on the year. Daniel Murphy, the batter, 284, 3 home runs, 17 runs batted in. He homered in yesterday's ball game. Excuse me, that was a couple games ago. Rockies getting a runner in scoring position early on here in the top of the second inning, trying to get on the board first, something they have not done a whole lot of lately. First pitch misses high to Daniel Murphy. He did have a hit and an RBI in yesterday's ball game. It was not a home run, though. was in that final game against the Giants when he went deep. 1-0 pitch coming, and that's in there for a called strike. 1-1 pitch is swung on and chopped foul. And that one's going to miss outside. Count evens at 2. Daniel Murphy, second year of his deal with the Rockies, has an option for next year, mutual option. There's a swing and a ground ball weakly hit towards second base. VR throws to first. Arenado will make it up to third base. He's there with 1 out now. And the batter will be Ryan McMahon. Let's look at defense for the Marlins now. Left to right in the outfield, Corey Dickerson, Matt Joyce, and Kyle Eastbell. Infield corners, Brian Anderson and Garrett Cooper. Up the middle, double play combination, Miguel Rojas and Jonathan Villar. And the battery is Jorge Alfaro, the catcher, and starting pitcher, Pablo Lopez. We saw Josh Fuentes get a pinch hit at bat yesterday. He was recently called up prior to the series with Miami when there were a few moves made for the Rockies. Castellani, one of the call-ups for Herman Marquez being sent down. Also, we got to look at Joe Harvey for the first time. He gave up a couple runs in a couple innings. Ryan McMahon had a rough day yesterday, went 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. And he's quickly down 0-2 here. Just needs to put the ball in play and try to get Arenado home. .234 average on the year for Ryan McMahon. 13 home runs, 0-2 pitch is swung on and missed. He got on a pitch in the dirt, throw down to first will complete the strikeout, and Arenado still standing at third base, now with 2 outs. Second strikeout of the day for Pablo Lopez. As Ryan McMahon has been striking out quite a bit lately. He also homered in that final game against the Giants, though. Garrett Hampson homered yesterday, his first home run of the year that left the ballpark, as his first was an inside-the-park home run, which is a strike on the outside corner. Came in as a defensive switch for Garrett Hampson. It was a righty that, defensive switch for Sam Hilliard, and Hampson homered off a righty yesterday, swinging to miss quickly down 0-2. 160 on the year, not a whole lot of playing time for the Hamster. And an 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him on strikes. That'll retire the side. Nolan Arenado leads things off with a double. Gets to third base with 1 out, and the Rockies still cannot bring him home. Ryan Castellani will go out for his second major league inning in a scoreless ball game. Garrett Cooper was batting when Corey Dickerson was thrown out by Tony Wolters at second base. So Cooper will get a fresh counts. 11 pitches to get through the first inning. No hits allowed, just the walk to Dickerson for Ryan Castellani's first inning. 240 on the year is Cooper. First pitch misses, low, ball 1.
1 ball, no strike.
To his motion windup in the 1-0 is swung on and lined towards right field. That's going to drop for a base hit. First hit surrendered by Ryan Castellani in his career. It was bound to happen. Brian Anderson, the batter, he's been struggling on the year. Did not struggle yesterday. Had his 6th home run of the year, a 3-run shot in the first inning. Also had a double to go along with that. Swings and misses at the first pitch. 221 on the year, 23 runs batted in, a 678 OPS for the typically steady third baseman for the Marlins, Brian Anderson. No relation to former Rocky pitcher Brett Anderson, or Tim Anderson, or any of the other Andersons we know. Fly ball towards right field. This one's hit well. Blackman's going back on it. He is going to look up, and that's off the wall. And he kind of deked the runners, so Cooper is going to have to hold up at third. And their runners on second and third now with nobody out. That's a double for Brian Anderson. You saw Cooper kind of hold up halfway between first and second. Then he got going again once he saw the ball get off the wall. It's a good job by Blackman to kind of deke the base runner there. And no runs will score yet for the Marlins. Kyle Eastbell, 23-year-old, making his major league debut this year, at least. for Miami. Takes a pitch down and in. He got a couple hits yesterday. 233 on the year, 1 homer, 5 runs batted in, a 683 OPS. As Castellani finds himself in a little bit of trouble for the first time in his big league career. Runners on second and third, nobody out here in the bottom of the second for a Marlins offense that has been a lot better than anyone had hoped going into the season. 1-0 pitch is swung on and pulled foul. Double in yesterday's ball game as well for Eastbell. And the 1-1 delivery is a check swing and a pitch outside, and he did not go. Hitters count now. Pablo Lopez of the Marlins worked around a leadoff double for Nolan Arenado in the top of the second inning. Bit of a more difficult situation for Castellani. He'll still try to get out of this one, though. Pitch inside, 3 balls and a strike. The hot-hitting Jorge Alfaro is waiting on deck. Very solid numbers for Castellani in AAA to begin this season. And I know the double L usually makes a Y sound, but it's not Castellani, it is Castellani. 3-1 pitch is going to miss high, ball 4. He walked him. Bases loaded, nobody out for the Marlins now. And the young right-hander for the Rockies running into some trouble. Very smooth first inning for him. Not so much yet in the second. Jorge Alfaro, 326, 5 home runs on the year. Castellani comes set. And his first pitch to Alfaro is taken low. 326 average, ranks third on the Marlins for Jorge Alfaro, the catcher. Francisco Cervelli, the backup catcher for Miami. Castellani's 1-0 pitch on its way. And swung on and popped up towards the right field line. Blackman on a long run. He's not going to be able to get the catch. No harm, just foul. And it's a 1-1 count now. Castellani's pitch is swung on and lined towards the gap in right center field. That ball's going to get down and go all the way to the wall. Another traffic jam on the bases. Not sure what happened there. 1 run will score, and 2 runs will score, and 3 runs will score. On his way to third base, and safe there is Jorge Alfaro with a bases-clearing triple. And that's his 4th triple of the year. Marlins take a 3-0 lead. Marlins were lucky that some runners didn't pass each other. There was a lot of confusion on the bases, but the ball was hit so well that it easily allowed 3 runs to score. 3-run triple, and Matt Joyce, the batter, runner on third, nobody out. 260 on the year for the center fielder for the Marlins. Interesting that they're using him as the center fielder. Eastbell has minor league experience there. Joyce has experience there, but he is well into his 30s now. Interesting to see him getting the task of playing this cavernous Marlins center field. 260 on the year for Joyce, former Brave, former Tiger, former Ray, former Pirate, former A. I'm sure I missed some. Those are who I can think of. 5 for his last 16 at the plate for Joyce. That's a 313 average in his last 4 games. Not a huge sample to work with. Still nobody out here in this bottom of the second inning. 25 pitches now for Castellani. And here's the 2-0. Outside, 3-0. Well, Castellani certainly doesn't have a whole lot more to prove at the AAA level. There's a foul out of play, 3-1. So you could say, oh, was he rushed to the big leagues? I don't think so. They saw back after the 2018 season, Rockies added him to the 40-man roster, so they knew he wasn't too far off. There's a swing and a ground ball foul, and from a 3-0 count, it's now full on Matt Joyce. Very good eye at the plate. One of the better eyes, and really underrated in that aspect, is Matt Joyce. And a 3-2 delivery is going to miss high, ball 4. He walked him. And a rough second inning of Ryan Castellani's big league career continues. Already has allowed 3 runs, and runners are on the corners with nobody out now for Miami. Pablo Lopez, the pitcher, we'll see if he can hopefully be put away quickly. 118 average on the year, 3 runs batted in. Not too shabby for a pitcher. In the third inning, unless Castellani doesn't make it through this inning, we'll get to see him take his first big league at bat. First pitch is a strike to Pablo Lopez out of Venezuela. And the 0-1 is going to miss outside. Slider has been missing for Castellani, not hitting the spot he would like it to. Now he comes set. And his 1-1 pitch is swung on and missed, strike 2. Good 95-mile-an-hour fastball from Castellani that time. One-two pitch is going to miss low and away. Changeup that time. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. He got him on strikes. That is the first big league strikeout for Ryan Castellani. It's the opposing pitcher, but we'll take it. He gets Pablo Lopez swinging. No one can take that away. First big league strikeout for Ryan Castellani. And very good location on that one, too. A good slider from him. 83 miles per hour. Lineup will turn over now. Runners on the corners, 1 out. Batter will be Jonathan Villar. 0 for 1 flight out his first time up, just an inning ago. 360 on base percentage. Very solid leadoff numbers for the former Oriole, Jonathan Villar. First pitch is swung on and skied towards center field. Dahl camping under. He'll make the catch. Tagging and scoring is Alfaro. And that's going to make it 4-0 Marlins. Rockies will trade that for an out, though, and they'll take it. Miguel Rojas 0 for 1 on the day. He will be the batter. That is Hampson playing center field today. Dahl is in left today. Hampson, you feel better suited, better speed than Dahl. Dahl also never hurts to give him a little bit of a break from playing center field from time to time. Castellani's first pitch to Rojas is swung on and missed. 54 hits on the year for Rojas. That ranks 10th in the National League. He's off to quite a start. Number 2 batter for the Marlins. Very good numbers for their shortstop. The 0-1 is going to miss down and in. Another changeup missing. 37 total pitches, 19 for balls, 18 for strikes from Ryan Castellani. Maybe a little bit of nerves out there in his big league start. One pitch is going to miss low and away. Hitters count now on Miguel Rojas. Several pitches thrown by Castellani here in this second inning. Only had to go through 11 in the first. And he faced the minimum, just gave up a 2-out walk, but then Corey Dickerson thrown out on the base paths. 2-1 pitch is swung on and fouled out of play. Castellani just a strike away from getting out of this inning and sending the Rockies back to the plate in the third. And swung on and lined towards left center field. Over to cut it off is Hampson. And that's going to put runners on first and second with 2 outs now. And the line will keep moving. 14-game hitting streak now for Miguel Rojas. Corey Dickerson will be the batter. Walked on 4 pitches his first time up, then got thrown out trying to steal second by Tony Wolters. Never like to make the third out of an inning on the base paths. First pitch, swing and a miss. That is a good-looking changeup. A 1 pitch is way high. 13 doubles for Corey Dickerson, tied for 6th place in the National League. Saw a lot of Rockies towards the top of those leaderboards in terms of doubles as well. 1-1 pitch is swung on and fouled out of play. Now one more strike away from getting out of this inning once more is Ryan Castellani. Swung on and skied towards shallow left. Dahl's coming in on this one. He's there, and he will make the catch, and that'll retire the side. 4 runs across for the Marlins. Rockies will try to answer back. We'll see Ryan Castellani make his first appearance as a batter in the third. 4-0 Miami. Tony Wolters leads off the top of the third. 160 average, 10 RBIs, no home runs for the Stash, who has already thrown out one base runner in this ball game. First pitch from Lopez is swung on and pulled towards right field. This one's hit fairly well. Going back is Eastbell, and he will make the catch running onto the track for out number 1. Wolters doing his best to put a charge into one. Let's take a look at the NL East right now. Marlins only 3.5 back of the Atlanta Braves. Nats 4.5 back, Mets 5.5, and the Phillies 6.5. So fairly decent separation for the Braves. Then the 2 through 5 members of the division are pretty bunched up. Ryan Castellani getting his first big league at bat right now. He retired Pablo Lopez swinging for his first major league strikeout. First pitch here is a strike. Castellani, we mentioned, second-round pick back in the 2014 draft by the Rockies. And check swing, and he went too far. It's quickly 0-2 on Castellani. 4 runs given up in that second inning for him. He'll try for better results in the third, more like that first inning. Low and away, ball 1. Well, if Castellani is anything like Peter Lambert offensively, there's a lot to look forward to here. There's a ground ball hit. Second baseman VR spins, throws, and got him. That's out number 2. Nick Groke of The Athletic had an article about this custom MLB season we're set to experience. He's calling it the asterisk season of baseball. Right now, there's still a lot of discussions that have to be made before opening day. But he also says that could be very good for the Rockies, mostly. David Dahl takes the pitch low. He's 0 for 1 on the day. He has 49 hits, ranks 3rd on these Rockies. It's inside 2-0. And swung on and hit into left field. That might be a double. We've seen Dahl do that quite a few times. It's going to be a double. 22nd double of the year for David Dahl. Takes a wide turn, but he will hold up there. What a stretch for David Dahl. And they keep shifting him, and he keeps hitting doubles to that part of the ballpark, beating the shift. So one of the proposed ideas that Groke talks about that's a great idea for the Rockies is an 80-game schedule with 3 geographic regions and expanded playoffs. Trevor Story will be the batter. 0 for 1 grounded out his first time up. Homered in yesterday's ball game, his only hit of this series. So Colorado would face the rest of the NL West. They'd also face the 5 teams in the AL West in that scenario. The Astros, A's, Angels, Mariners, and Rangers. Not bad news. It figures to be that the Dodgers have a pretty good hold on the NL West, and the Astros seem to have a decent hold on the AL West, though I really think the Angels could get them a run for their money this year. 1-0 pitch. Story takes a strike. But it remains to be seen. Certainly the Mariners look like a team that is really struggling. A's, you never really know what you're going to get from them. Rangers might have a little ways to go as well. Pop fly into shallow center field going out VR. He'll make the catch. And that will retire the side. We're through 2.5. It's 4-0 Marlins. We'll see Castellani out for the bottom of the third. Ryan Castellani out for his third major league inning. First batter he will face is Garrett Cooper. Singled and scored earlier in this one. Just in the second inning he did. First pitch here is taken for a strike on the outside corner. Cooper was a 6th-round pick in the 2013 draft by the New York Yankees. Sorry, that was by the Brewers. Then he made his debut with the Yankees. I messed that up yesterday, too. Now he's with Miami. The 1-1 is in there for a strike. So, abbreviated season. We're talking somewhere around 80 games, between 78 and 82. If the Rockies played 78 games, that would be the cleanest, as each team would have 26 3-game series in that scenario. Pitch inside. 82 games would be if the owners wanted to squeeze in as many games as possible. In their last 4 postseason appearances, the Rockies, after 80 games, were never better than 3rd in the NL West. There's a line drive base hit into right field, another leadoff single for Garrett Cooper here in the bottom of the 3rd. In fact, in 2007, which was the only year the Rockies reached the World Series, they were 8 games back and in 4th place after the halfway point. In 2018, last playoff year for the Rockies, they were also 8 games out and in 4th place. But, you know, the whole point, well, maybe not the point that the owners and baseball wants, but they're still going to get the underdog gets a better chance in the smaller sample of games. As Groke writes, it's easier to hide your deficiencies within a 5-game playoff series than a 7-gamer, for example. There's a pitch low, 2-0 on Brian Anderson. 12 doubles ranked 2nd on the Marlins. Would rank about 5th or 6th on the Rockies. Also 14 playoff spots, so that's going to be very good for teams that might be on the outside looking in. There's a line drive towards the gap in right center field. This is looking very similar to just an inning ago. That's off the wall. Cooper will be held at 3rd, runners on 2nd and 3rd with nobody out. That's exactly how the bottom of the 2nd started, with Cooper and then Anderson getting on. Kyle Eastbell will be the batter. Another thing Groke writes about the universal designated hitter, extra innings incentives, and expanded game day rosters, and that, he writes, is very good for the Rockies. There's a foul out of play off the bat of Eastbell. Groke writes that Daniel Murphy could move to the DH spot, and then Ryan McMahon could move to 1st, and Garrett Hampson and Brendan Rodgers could move over to 2nd, play 2nd. Fly ball to shallow left, over towards the line is Dahl. He'll make the catch. Cooper's going to try and score. Throw to the plate by Dahl is going to be well off line, and it's 5-0 Marlins. RBI sac fly, scores Cooper, and now it's 5-0 Miami. Charlie Blackmon could also be utilized as a DH, and you'd have Raimel Tapia, Sam Hilliard, Jonathan Daza, depending on what you want to do, potentially putting one of them in right field. Bud Black's out to make a pitching change, and was not the debut that Castellani wanted. Very solid first inning of work, but has run into some trouble in the 2nd and now in the 3rd. And there's 1 out now, and Jeff Hoffman's going to take over on the mound. 19th game for Hoffman, 3-0 record, 38 in the 3rd innings, 5.63 ERA. He's got 29 strikeouts and 14 walks. Has a little more he wants to say before Wolters goes back to the backstop. 293 against lefties, 270 against righties for Jeff Hoffman. And he'll take over, runner on 2nd base, still Castellani's responsibility. 2 1/3 innings for Castellani today. He's given up 5 runs. Could give up a 6th that would be charged to him if Hoffman allows it. But he'll try to keep the bases clear for the rest of this one. 45 hits for Alfaro, ranks 3rd on the Marlins. Hoffman comes into a runner on 2nd base and has to pitch from the set position. There's a foul out of play. Swung on and hit foul down the left field line. 1-2 the count. So it's looking like rosters would also expand to 30 or more players instead of 26 if and when the Major League season resumes. Line drive towards right center field. That ball is going to get down, and it's going to go to the wall. So that'll close the book on Castellani. He'll be charged with 6 runs on his way to third base and in there with a triple. That is Jorge Alfaro. It's his second triple of the ball game, 5th of the year. And for a catcher, this man runs pretty well, folks. And runner on third with 1 out now as James Pazos has begun to warm up in the Rockies bullpen. Matt Joyce, Castellani walked him in the second inning. There's a ground ball hit up the middle. Story ranging over. He will throw to first for the out. And the run will score Alfaro to make it 7-0 Marlins here in the third. Rockies in danger of losing a 10th straight ball game here. Pablo Lopez struck out in the first Major League strikeout for Ryan Castellani, his first time up, 0 for 1 on the day. Hoffman comes set. His first pitch is swung on and skied towards left field. Dahl over. He'll camp under it and make the catch, and that'll retire the side after 3 innings. It's now 7-0 Marlins, and the end of the day has come for Ryan Castellani. It'll be Blackman, Arenado, Murphy trying to get the offense going for the Rockies in the 4th. Seven runs on 7 hits for the Marlins. No runs on 2 hits for the Rockies. Charlie Blackman leads things off in the 4th, and he lines one right into the glove of the third baseman Anderson for 1 out.
Now batting, the third baseman.
Road to the show report for the Marlins. The Wind Surge and the Jumbo Shrimp. Wind Surge not doing as well as the Jumbo Shrimp, who lost to the Blue Wahoos. The OKC Dodgers beat the Wind Surge. See, a couple players are hitting quite well for the Marlins. Nolan Arenado doubled his first time up, leading off the top of the second inning. Makes a strike on the outside corner. 2 doubles now in the series for Arenado. Just swinging a foul back to the screen. Quickly 0-2 on Arenado. He has 31 RBI. That is tied for 7th place in the National League right now. Was leading for a brief time a few weeks ago now. He may get, I certainly don't put it past Arenado to come back against that. Fly ball to deep right field, going back, and at the track, Eastbell makes the catch right in front of the wall, and that is out number 2. Arenado nearly rode that one out of here, but it's just a loud out. So yeah, expanded rosters is something that they'll be talking about, likely going up to 30, and it sounds like they'll have a travel squad of 50. As minor leagues are, I'm going to say, are pretty unlikely to happen this year. And we had to make a lot of decisions when we were deciding the sim roster and trying to replicate what we think the Rockies would actually do. Players like Josh Fuentes, we had to leave him off. Jonathan Daza, Brian Shaw as well. But now with these 30-man rosters, it looks like there's a pretty good chance we'll see maybe even 4 catchers for the Rockies. Drew Butera, Elias Diaz, Dom Nunez may very well be around. 1-1 pitch to Murphy is swung on and popped into shallow left field, going out as a shortstop. Rojas camps under it, makes the catch, and that'll retire the side. We head to the bottom of the 4th at 7-0 Miami. Seven 0 Marlins in the bottom of the 4th. Jonathan Villar leads off as the top of the order swings around for the Marlins. Jeff Hoffman out for a second inning of work. 0 for 1 on the day for Villar as a walk in this game. Line drive towards center field. That's going to drop for a base hit. Leadoff single for Jonathan Villar here in the bottom of the 4th.
Now batting, the shortstop, Miguel.
Another change that Nick Groke talks about is those taxi squads and the altered trade deadlines, wondering if that could play a role in helping out the Rockies, and he has mixed thoughts about that. Rosters could expand to 45 to 50 players with 15 to 20 on a kind of daily taxi squad, to borrow a football term, writes Groke. Ground ball base hit into right. VR will make it over to third base. Runners on the corners, nobody out for Miami here in the bottom of the fourth, already up 7-0. So those players could arrive at the ballpark at a separate time, work out, train, stay fresh, and then leave, and a manager could move players from the game day roster to a taxi squad depending on needs. It could work a little like the traditional system, except without plane rides between Albuquerque, New Mexico, and Denver. The problem is for the Rockies, there aren't a lot of major league players ready to break through. Again, mentioned here by Groke are Hilliard, Daza, Rogers, Ubaldo Jimenez, Peter Lambert. Once he recovers from a forearm injury, line drive towards the gap in right center field. On the run is Hampson. He's going to make the catch in front of the track. VR will tag and score. It's 8-0 Miami. RBI sac fly for Corey Dickerson. And Garrett Cooper, the batter, 2 for 2, a couple base hits, a couple runs scored. 252 with a 343 on base percentage, 701 OPS on the year for the Marlins first baseman. First pitch is a strike on the outside corner. Cooper again drafted by the Brewers, then acquired by the Yankees, and then acquired by the Marlins several years ago now. 1 pitch. It's going to miss high. There's a strike, 1-2 the count. 14 pitches, 10 of which have been strikes for Jeff Hoffman so far in his nearly a full inning of work now. Tracy Ringoldsby had an interesting article for Inside the Seams talking about the 1995 season. There's a swing and a miss and a strikeout for Hoffman. Cooper is down, retired for the first time today. They're 2 away. And Ringoldsby writes, 3-week spring training is more than enough, which baseball proved in 1995, another shortened season. Brian Anderson bats, swings and fouls one out of play. 7 RBI in the last 3 games for Brian Anderson. He's on a good stretch right now, 2 for 2 in this game after a couple hits yesterday. Pitch misses outside. Hitters count now on Brian Anderson. Ringoldsby writes that the Rockies only had 9 players go on the disabled list in 1995, and a couple of those players are actually sidelined twice. And by September 1, catcher Matt Noakes, who suffered an injured thumb on July 31st, was the only player who was still sidelined. Swing and a miss, strike 2. There's a line drive, base hit into right field. Couple more runners on with 2 outs now for the Marlins. A 15-game spring, which is what is being proposed by Ringoldsby, would mean 3 starts for each of the projected members of a rotation, allowing the pitcher to get in a session of 3 innings, 4 innings, and 5 innings. I mean, pitchers already... Again, it's tough for me to say. It's easy for me to say that they already had some time to warm up, but now they've been cold for a couple months now, as they did start ramping things up at the end of February into early March. Pitch is low to Kyle Eastbell. 2 homers and 6 runs batted in over his last 10 games. Of course, Ringoldsby, his argument is that players aren't finishing games and going deep into games anyway. There's a fly ball towards left field. This should be the final out. David Dahl puts it away and the side is retired. Marlins get another run. It's 8-0. And we go to the 5th inning. Rockies looking for a third hit in this ball game. Rockies manager Bud Black talking things over with pitching coach Steve Foster. It's going to be a bullpen game for the rest of the way for the Rockies. Ryan McMahon leads off against Pablo Lopez in the 5th. Struck out his first time up in the 2nd inning. 13 homers, 30 runs batted in on the year for the Rockies' second baseman. First pitch is taken for a strike on the inside corner. Also from Tracy Ringlesby, he has reported that former big league player, manager, and coach Art Howe has been hospitalized with coronavirus. He's 73 years old now. He said it got to the point where all he could do was sit in a chair, didn't even want to get up. No energy to move, no desire to move. And then he decided it was time to go to the hospital. Went there by ambulance, which is the last time he's been with his wife, Betty, with whom he celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary last year. His wife, Betty, is at home also in quarantine, as are 2 of their daughters who live in the Houston area. None of them have tested positive for coronavirus. Art Howe says he is happy about that. My best exposure to Art Howe has been from seeing his character in the Moneyball movie. And my understanding is they were a bit unfair to Art Howe in the treatment of that character. He was made out to be a bit of a villain in that movie. Maybe just for cinematic effect. I love the movie Moneyball, don't get me wrong. This might have been a little bit unfair treatment and unfair characterization of Art Howe. Swing and a miss, 4th strikeout for Pablo Lopez.
Now batting, number 1.
So well wishes sent to Art Howe.
Ball. 1-0.
Garrett Hampson struck out his first time up. That was in the 2nd inning. 4 for 26 to start his season. Swinging a ground ball foul. Just thinking more about that proposed schedule of teams only playing the regional teams from the opposing league as well as their division. There's a strike to Hampson. It would be kind of fun to see Nolan Arenado match up against some of the best third basemen along with himself in the game. Matt Chapman for the A's. There's a fly ball towards left field. This one's hit well. Going back on it is Dickerson. He's looking up, and that ball's off the very top of the wall. Hampson around second. He's on his way to third, and he is in there with a one-out triple here in the top of the 5th. That's the actually first triple of the year for Garrett Hampson. Got his first inside the park home run before he got a triple. And he's on third base with 1 out now for Tony Wolters. So it'd be fun to see Arenado play against Matt Chapman of the A's and Anthony Rendon now of the Angels on a semi-regular basis. I'm getting pretty excited for this amended season to start. I think it'll be really fun to watch. Tony Wolters lined out to fairly deep right field his first time up. He's 0 for 1. And swung on and pulled foul once more. There's a pitch low. Hitter's count now on Tony Wolters. Swinging a foul out of play. On Thursday evening, Major League Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred was on CNN talking about plans for the reopening of baseball. Jesse Rogers of ESPN has a good recap on this. Just swinging a ground ball weakly hit back to the mound. That'll have to hold Hampson at third, and there are 2 away now. We'll see if we have a pinch hitter coming up.
The batter, the pitcher, Jeff, your attention please.
And Josh Fuentes is going to pinch hit.
Number 8, Josh Fuentes.
Had a pinch hit at bat yesterday and grounded out. First pitch here is swung on and lifted in the air towards shallow left field. Camping under it, making the catch is Corey Dickerson. That'll retire their side. We head to the bottom of the 5th. We'll talk about what Rob Manfred had to say on CNN when we return. 8-0 Miami.
attention,
New pitcher for the Rockies is James Pazos, 26 in the third innings, 25 strikeouts, 11 walks, 4.78 ERA. That's been coming down. This is his 26th game, 1-0 his record, 3.11 against lefties, 2.50 against righties. So some reverse splits for the Rockies lefty James Pazos. Jorge Alfaro is 2 for 2 with 2 triples in this ball game. Not sure when the last time we've seen a catcher do that, but very good speed for Alfaro, especially for the position he plays. 5 for his last 15 at the plate. That's a .333 batting average over his last 4 games. So Rob Manfred on CNN on Thursday evening said frequent testing will be a key to baseball's restart, and that a positive test won't mean shutting down an entire team, though. And that's a little bit risky. There's a fly ball to shallow left field coming in is Dahl. He'll get there to make the catch for out number 1. So we look at the final line on Ryan Castellani in his Major League debut. 2 in the third innings, 1 strikeout, 3 walks, 6 runs on 6 hits, only threw 54 pitches. And something to build off of, I suppose. It was not the debut that the Rockies needed, not the debut that Castellani wanted. Carlos Estevez warming up in the bullpen. Matt Joyce, 0 for 1, does have a walk and a run batted in this game. Just one official at bat, though. First pitch from Pazos is taken just a bit inside. Joyce sitting on 148 career home runs across parts of 12 seasons. The 1-0 is taken for a strike. So Manfred said Major League Baseball, which plans in the coming days to discuss in-depth health and safety protocols with the Players Association, and intends to test players and other baseball personnel multiple times a week using a drug testing lab in Utah it converted to process thousands of COVID-19 tests weekly. And for those who show coronavirus symptoms, MLB would use rapid point-of-contact testing to determine whether they are infected. And were someone to test positive, that individual would be quarantined, and those who have come into contact with the person would be rapidly tested as well. Those who do test positive would be quarantined until testing negative twice over a 24-hour period. Experts are advising them that they don't need a 14-day quarantine. This is according to Manfred. So what they will do is the positive individual will be removed from the rest of the group. There will be a quarantine arrangement in each facility and in each city, and they'll do contact tracing for the individuals that they believe there was contact with, and they'll do point-of-care testing for those individuals to minimize the likelihood that there's been a spread. So that's what Rob Manfred says they're going to do. Pitch outside, full count on Matt Joyce. Pablo Lopez, the pitcher, waiting on deck. And strike 3 called on the outside corner. Joyce was on his way to first base. Surprised to see he'd been called on strikes. And there are 2 away.
Now batting, the pitcher, Pablo.
Could have gone either way, but Pazos has really not gotten the benefit of a lot of calls this year, so we'll take that one. Pablo Lopez 0 for 2, strikeout and a flyout. Was the first major league strikeout for Ryan Castellani back in the second inning. This pitch from Pazos is taken low and away.
1-0.
Manfred said that lab that they're going to be using in Utah has assured them a 24-hour turnaround on all of their tests. So he says they feel comfortable with that by doing multiple tests a week and trying to minimize that turnaround time. They're doing everything humanly possible to make sure that the players are safe. So it's not like they're going into this blind by any means. There's certainly going to be a lot of calculus going into this, but there are other hurdles that have to be cleared before a potential restart, and notably is coming to agreement with the Players Association on salary. Swing and a miss, and Pazos gets Lopez on strikes. Good 1-2-3 inning for James Pazos. We're through 5. Rockies offense still has some work to do. 8-0 Miami. Top of the order, David Dahl leads things off for the Rockies here in the 6th. 1 for 2. He had a double in the third inning. His only hit of this series. It's 8-0 Marlins. First pitch is in there for a called strike. 7 doubles in the last 10 games for David Dahl. He's now at 22 on the year. What a stretch. 0-1 pitch is swung on and missed. Quickly 0-2 on Dahl. Swing and a miss. He got him on 3 pitches, and that is out number 1. From ESPN News Service, Tampa Bay's pitcher Blake Snell says he will not play this season if there's a reduced salary, especially because of the risk of contracting the coronavirus. Snell said it's just not worth it. Trevor Story takes first pitch strike. He's 0 for 2 with a pop out and a ground out in this game. Homered yesterday for his lone hit of the series. Snell was on a Twitch stream answering questions a couple days ago. 0-1 pitch is swung on and missed. Quickly 0-2 on Story. He has 49 strikeouts on the year. That's 10th most in the National League. Certainly didn't sound like any real desire to negotiate for Blake Snell there. If you want to go, and I'm sure you can find it on YouTube or somewhere. Maybe even, I know I've actually tried to do this simulation using Twitch, and I found that it does not allow you to save your broadcasts. You can upload videos, but you can't save the broadcasts you do on Twitch. So I don't know. I don't think you'll be able to watch the previous broadcast from Blake Snell on his Twitch. Swing and a miss. Story strikes out. 6th K for Lopez. Second strikeout of this inning.
The right fielder, number 19, Charlie.
That 50-50 revenue split was included in a plan approved Monday by owners, and the MLBPA is expected to reject that element if they have not already. And they will counter that a March agreement between the parties guaranteed players a prorated portion of their salaries. I mean, I completely understand it. You have millionaire players, but you have billionaire owners. And there was already an agreement in place that, according to Tony Clark, they thought it was a good faith agreement to do a prorated salary. 0-1 pitch coming to Blackman is low and away. He's 0 for 2 on the day. Won the batting title in 2017 did Charlie Blackman. There's a line drive towards the gap in deep left center field. Going back on this one is Joyce. That's over his head and off the wall in very deep left center field. Blackman will take a big turn around second, be able to hold there with a 2-out double. And the Rockies get a base runner. A charge into that one did Charlie Blackman. Nolan Arenado will come to the plate. He doubled earlier in this game. Arenado 1 for 2. 2 doubles in this series. First pitch is swung on and lined right to the second baseman VR, and that'll retire the side. We head to the bottom of the 6th. Not a whole lot of offense to speak of for the Rockies today, and Arenado is frustrated. Rockies in danger of losing their 10th straight game. Jonathan VR, top of the order, up for the Marlins here in the bottom of the 6th. 8-0 Miami, 1 for 2 on the day with a walk for VR. Pazos out for his second inning of work. Had a very good 1-2-3 shutdown inning in his 5th inning. First pitch of the 6th is taken for a strike. VR is tied for 8th in the National League in walks with 25. That's what you like to see from your leadoff batter. Former Oriole. Played very well for them last year, but the Orioles did not want to pay that arbitration salary of a little more than $8 million. Pitch outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. So their loss was the Marlins' gain. He's been a very good leadoff hitter to start this year for him. Ground ball towards second base. McMahon makes the play. Gets the speedy VR for out number 1. So we started talking about Blake Snell's comments, and there were some responses. Miguel Rojas will bat 2 for 3, a couple singles today, 14-game hitting streak, 4 for 8 in the series. It's off to a really nice start to this one. Rubber match tomorrow we will not broadcast for you. We will return on Tuesday. It's a 13-game hitting streak, I should say, for Miguel Rojas. Tuesday against the White Sox is our next broadcast for you. Rockies will try to avoid the sweep, it looks like, unless they mount a very strong comeback in this ball game. And then they'll have a day off Monday before we broadcast the first game of the series in Chicago on Tuesday, swinging a line drive pulled foul by Rojas. So Kevin Cash, Rays manager, Blake Snell's manager, was asked to talk about it, and he did not want to talk about Snell's view of the finances. He said, I guess we all have a right to say what we want to say and believe what we feel we want to believe. There's a line drive for the out. McMahon makes the catch. Bryce Harper responded on Twitch and said he agreed with Blake Snell, said, quote, he ain't lying, end quote. And somebody's got to say it. Interesting interaction on Twitter where Mark Teixeira, he didn't tweet it, but he was reported on Twitter as saying that, I'll have to find the exact quote because I do not want to misrepresent exactly what he was saying. There's a ground ball hit towards short on the back end. Long throw for Story, makes the play. I will look up that quote from Mark Teixeira, and I will have it for you in the 7th inning. Murphy, McMahon, and Hampson do it for the Rockies. Marlins lead it 8-0. Daniel Murphy leads things off here in the top of the 7th inning, I should say. 69th pitch of the day from Pablo Lopez, who's been quite economical, is swung on and missed. Daniel Murphy is a representative of the union. He's on the executive committee for MLB's union. Chris Iannetta, former Rocky, now with the Yankees in their minor league system, is a part of that as well. Scott Oberg, player rep for the Rockies. There's a line drive and a nice sliding stop by Cooper for out number 1. Rockies cannot get anything going today. Loss today would be their 10th straight. Ryan McMahon 0 for 2. He struck out twice, 0 for 6 in the series. He struck out 3 times yesterday. So here's that Mark Teixeira quote. This is what he said on ESPN a few days ago now as McMahon lines one towards the gap in right center field. Going back on this one is Joyce. That ball is going to be off the wall and over the wall for a ground rule double. 10th double of the year for Ryan McMahon. He's into double digits in doubles. And a one-out base runner for the Rockies trying to avoid the shutout today. So Teixeira said on ESPN, I would rather make pennies on the dollar and give hope to people and play baseball rather than not make anything and lose an entire year off their career. And Brandon McCarthy on Twitter responded by saying, Tex Teixeira was quite possibly the most pro-union player I came across in my career. A few years ago, this would be recognized as an under-duress message. I always find those interactions on Twitter fascinating between former Major League players. Hampson fouls one out of play. He tripled earlier in this ball game. His first triple of the year after homering yesterday. Swinging a ground ball hit towards second base. VR throws to first for out number 2. Advancing to third base is McMahon. He's there with 2 outs. Tony Wolters, the batter, 0 for 2 line out and a ground out in this one. 156, 229 on base percentage. Struggling at the plate right now is Tony Wolters, a very valuable defensive player, however. First pitch here is swung on and fouled out of play. Also from The Athletic, yesterday, Ken Rosenthal and Evan Drellich reported with no fans, revenue sharing among rich and poor teams will be unlikely in 2020. Swinging a ground ball hit towards second base. VR up the ball, throws to first. And that'll retire the side. Pablo Lopez has looked like he has not had much struggles out there today. It's 8-0 Miami, 7th inning stretch time. Corey Shembry will sing for us.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back, 'cause it's root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back, 'cause it's root, root, root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
Garrett Cooper leads off the bottom of the 7th, 2 for 3. Couple singles, scored runs. Both of the times he was on base, as Joe Harvey is now warming up in the Rockies bullpen. We saw him make his season debut yesterday, pitched a couple innings, gave up a couple runs. So let's talk about revenue sharing now. Again, this article from Ken Rosenthal and Evan Drellich of The Athletic. It's a strike on the outside corner. Joe Harvey, the righty, and Jake McGee, the lefty, are warming up in the Rockies bullpen. James Pazos is out for a 3rd inning of work. He's just really looked good. So why not keep throwing him out there, stop the bleeding a little bit. There's a strike quickly, 0-2 on Cooper. So 1996 baseball introduced revenue sharing. That's where the wealthiest teams help the poorest. So this year, all teams might have to be on their own. 0-2 pitch is taken up and in ball 1. The decision is not final, but it is the expectation of owners and other top executives in the sport that revenue sharing will be halted among clubs for 2020. Normally, teams share 48% of net local revenue. All major league teams will hurt this year, but from one perspective, Rosenthal and Drellich write, certain big market teams might hurt the most. Those clubs typically generate huge numbers in attendance and subsequently huge dollars in gate-related income. That money might barely exist in 2020 as teams at least open the season with no paying customers inside of their stadiums. And the big market payrolls, however, remain large, and ultimately baseball's richest will not have the cash flow to share the way they have in the past. There's a swing and a miss. He got him on strikes. Pazos gets Cooper with a good slider for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 7th.
Now batting, the 3rd baseman, Brian Anderson.
Brian Anderson takes first pitch, just a little bit low, ball 1. 3 for 3, 2 doubles, a single, 2 runs scored, 5 hits in the series. Had a 3-run home run in yesterday's ball game. Quite a stretch for Brian Anderson. He was very cold coming into this series, and he has feasted on Rockies pitching. 1-0 pitch is going to miss inside, 2-0. But again, players being asked to take an additional pay cut. Angels owner Arte Moreno was particularly insistent that the league should not restart without economic concessions from the players. There's a strike. The $4 billion loss by MLB's definition means that if no games are played in 2020, the league expects to spend $4 billion more than it would take in. Teams would lose on average more than $100 million each. It's a ground ball foul the other way. And Rosenthal and Drellich write, a number of owners and club executives are wondering about the long-term effects in 2021 and beyond. Remember, after 2021, on December 1st of 2021, that's when the collective bargaining agreement expires. So we will see what comes of that. Down and in, full count now on Anderson. Kyle Eastbell waiting on deck. There's a line drive towards left center field. That ball's going to drop for a base hit. 4th hit of the day for Brian Anderson. 6 hits in this series now.
Now batting, the right fielder,
Kyle Eastbell will be the batter. He has a walk, sacrifice fly, and an RBI in this one. 0 for 1, 2 plate appearances, 1 official at bat. Also from the Wall Street Journal, baseball, another plan for staying safely is no spitting. Very tough for major league players with the seeds and the chewing and yes.
No ball, 1 strike.
But that's going to be something that'll have to be done to keep everyone healthy. So ground ball hits into right field, a base hit. Espel gets his first hit of the day. Couple runners on for the Marlins.
Now batting, catcher, Jorge Alfaro.
Also under baseball's proposal, high fives would also be banned, as well as mound visits. Locker rooms, dugouts, and bullpens would be arranged differently to allow for social distancing. One possibly involves having relievers sit alone in the stands unless they are warming up. I could just imagine, though, someone like sitting behind right field. There's some ballparks you can hop over you can pretty much hop over into the stands. I wonder if someone might do that and somehow end up getting hurt that way. Anyway, under the current proposal, as we mentioned, what Rob Manfred said on CNN, Major League Baseball would not shut down the league if someone gets sick. Instead, the person who tested positive would be removed from the population. Those in contact but still asymptomatic would be monitored more closely, and MLB is also discussing ways to allow players, umpires, and coaches from an at-risk group, either because of age or a pre-existing medical condition, to not participate in the season. But I'm willing to bet most players are going to participate if the game gets underway. David Dahl, of course, has the lack of the spleen that makes him more susceptible to diseases like COVID-19. I still think we'll see him play. It sounds like he should be happy, I would think, with the protocols that Major League Baseball has put in place. Fly ball to right field. Blackman makes the catch. That'll retire the side. We're through 7 innings. It's still 8-0 Marlins. 9-1-2 hitters due up for the Rockies.
Ladies and gentlemen,
We have a pinch hitter. His name is Chris Owings. He will lead things off in the 8th inning. 8th inning was a good one for the Rockies yesterday, in which they scored their 3 runs. That's all the runs they scored yesterday. Chris Owings is hitting pretty well right now, 262. He's got his batting average up to. He lines one towards right center field on the run for this one, and not able to make the catch is the center fielder Joyce. Another hit for Chris Owings.
now batting,
And he leads things off. Base runner for the Rockies in the 8th. Lineup will turn over now. David Dahl, the batter. 1 for 3, hit a double in the 3rd inning. 272, 332 on base percentage. He lines one towards left field. Coming in to make the catch is Dickerson for out number 1. Starter comparison today. Pablo Lopez so far has gone 7 innings. 6 hits, 6 strikeouts, no walks, no runs. He has pitched a gem. Ryan Castellani in his Major League debut, not so much. 2 innings, 6 runs allowed, and Rockies will hope for better results from him his next time around. Trevor Story struggled today, 0 for 3. Struck out in the 6th inning his last time up. 848 OPS is still solid. The power is still there for Trevor Story. At batting 258 with a 320 on base percentage. Rockies in danger of losing a 10th straight game. Story swings and fouls and out of play. He homered in the 8th inning yesterday. Something else I've noticed, as it seems like a lot of news outlets are talking about baseball a little more these days now that we're talking about getting it to return and such. The 0-1 pitch is going to miss high. I've noticed also a trend of news people saying the MLB. Like, the MLB might be coming back. What is the MLB? The Major League Baseball? That's not how you say it when you you say you say not just the acronym, but it's just MLB. No need for the MLB. 3-1 the count on Trevor Story. Charlie Blackmon waiting on deck. I don't know if that's an old man yells at cloud thing. I certainly hope I'm not getting to that stage quite yet. 3-1 pitch is swung on and ripped towards deep left field. It's going to hook foul, though. Story nearly hit a 4th home run in 5 games and a 2nd home run in the 8th inning in as many games. 3-2 pitch is swung on and grounded towards second base. 4-6-3 double play. And Rockies cannot get anything going. Pablo Lopez is yet to hit 85 pitches, and he has a very good shot at coming out for the 9th to get a complete game shutout. 8-0 Marlins going to the bottom of the 8th. They'll try to tack on some more runs. New pitcher for the Rockies is Jake McGee. 21 in the 3rd innings pitched, 17 strikeouts, 11 walks, reverse splits for him. Lefties hitting .304, righties .233. ERA sitting at .591, 25th game of the year for McGee. Pablo Lopez, the starting pitcher, will get in at bat. 0 for 3, struck out in the 5th inning. 2 for 20 on the year, the starting pitcher. It looks like he will get a chance to go out for the 9th, only at 83 pitches, and he has handled the Rockies. I'm trying to think of an adjective that's better than just handled them well. He's handled them exquisitely today. Rockies have not been able to get much of anything going. Lefty on lefty matchup. First pitch from McGee is swung on and pulled foul. Check some scores around baseball here in the 8th. 1-0 A's lead the Angels. Couple teams the Rockies could be seeing in the upcoming season. Ground ball hit, diving stop by McMahon, knocks it down. Does he still have time? Throws to first and not in time. That will be an infield single for the opposing pitcher, Pablo Lopez, to lead off the bottom of the 8th. Joe Harvey, Tim Collins both warming up in the bullpen in case McGee runs into further trouble. Jonathan Villar, single RBI run scored in this one, 3 for 7 in the series. Pitch misses outside, ball 1. Royals and Dodgers are tied at 3 in interleague action. Brett Phillips is at his 7th home run of the year for KC. The 1-0 is going to be low, 2-0. You can see Harvey and Collins up in the bullpen for the Rockies. A couple of their more recent call-ups. Harvey just yesterday. Collins a couple road trips ago when Scott Oberg was placed on the injured list. 2-0 pitch is going to miss high, 3-0. Miguel Rojas waiting on deck. He's hitting .344 on the year. He's had one heck of a series as well. Swing and a miss. Swinging on 3-0 is VR. And he comes up empty. Last week was What If Week on Purple Row. There's a pitch inside. You can go to purplerow.com and you can check out a bunch of different articles about what if certain things happen in Rockies history. Becca Gillen wrote, what if the Rockies had lost Game 163? Sam Bradfield wrote, what if Troy Tulowitzki hadn't been injured in 2014? He was potentially on an MVP trajectory. Eric Fayel wrote, what if the Rockies hadn't let DJ LeMahieu go? Justin Wick wrote, what if Colorado's super bullpen never happened? So there's a few pieces of reading you can do this weekend if you feel so inclined. Miguel Rojas, 2 for 4 in the day. 1-0 pitch is swung on and fouled out of play. 1-2 pitch from McGee is swung on and lined foul down the right field line. Rockies have lost 9 straight. Lost, I should say, all 8 games on their previous homestand. A couple 4-game series with the Reds and then the Giants. And lost the first game of this series against the Marlins. In danger of losing a 10th straight tonight. Foul back to the screen. We will not have the broadcast for you tomorrow. We will only be broadcasting first games of series from here on out in case you missed my spiel yesterday. Pitch Inside, County Visit 2. We are broadcasting today because we wanted you to see Ryan Castellani's fall Major League debut. But Rockies will not be going for the sweep. We're also broadcasting final games of series if Rockies are going for the sweep of their opposing team. And they are not tomorrow. They will try to be avoiding a sweep tomorrow. So we'll broadcast the first game on Tuesday. It's the White Sox scramble to third. Arenado takes the runner 1, goes to first, and that is a double play. Arenado turns 2, and Corey Dickerson will be the batter. 0 for 2. Sac fly, walk, RBI, so a couple plate appearances. Had an RBI double in yesterday's ball game. Jake McGee will now... So it's like the Matrix. Jake McGee faces a player he was traded for, Corey Dickerson. Back in 2016, after the 2016 season. Just swinging a foul out of play. German Marquez. Not see him in this series. After being optioned to AAA, 1-1 pitch is outside, 2-1. I fully expect we will see German Marquez back at some point this year. And Rockies, I think, would like it to be sooner rather than later. The swing and a line drive pulled foul. But just need him to get a few things figured out, and obviously it cannot be happening at the big league level right now. Rockies are really digging themselves a hole. They were really hanging around towards the 500 mark and a few games above, towards second or even first place in the division for much of the month of April. But now a very rough start to May for the Rockies. Garrett Cooper is waiting on deck as the count goes full on Corey Dickerson. And Rockies made those few moves prior to this series because they realized if we want to win, we've got to make some changes. After an 8-game losing streak, there's a line drive. Leaping is Murphy, but that's over his glove and into right field, a base hit. A run will score, make it 9-0 Miami. Corey Dickerson, RBI single, his first hit of the ballgame, second RBI, also had that sac fly. Murphy gave it his best effort there at first base, but not quite tall enough to reach it. 9-0 Marlins now. Garrett Cooper, the batter, 2 for 4, scored a couple runs in this game as well. And swung on and pulled foul. 248 on the year, 2 home runs, 15 runs batted in for the Marlins first baseman. Haven't seen Jesus Aguilar in this game. Did get in there yesterday as a pinch hitter. He's playing not quite as often at first base as Cooper. 0-1 pitch is taken down and in. McGee now is at 22 pitches here in this bottom of the 8th inning. The 1-1 is going to miss. Low hitters count now on Garrett Cooper. McGee comes set. Looks towards first base. His 2-1 delivery. It's going to miss outside. 3 balls and a strike. I was watching Rockies Remix, which you should watch on the Ghost of Marv's channel. And last night, Matt Reynolds was pitching for the Rockies in one of, I forget what year that was. I think like 2010 or something. And it was baffling to me how much Matt Reynolds looks like Jake McGee. Like from that set position, they both kind of, twiddle their fingers behind their back. So that's going to be another run for the Marlins, 10-0. RBI double for Garrett Cooper. His 8th double of the year, 3rd hit of the day. First run batted in. And also both lefties. And both wearing number 51. It was very odd to see Matt Reynolds, but looks a lot like Jake McGee. We're going to have a pitching change. Joe Harvey will come in. This is his second game. Pitched 2 innings yesterday. Has an ERA of 9. 1 strikeout, no walks. You can see lefties hit 600 against him yesterday. Righties 400. Must have been 2 for 5 for righties or something. First pitch from Harvey is taken inside, ball 1. Brian Anderson has had a heck of a day. 2 doubles, 2 singles, 6 hits, 4 of them today. Had a home run yesterday and a double yesterday as well. And he was not hitting well at all coming into this series, and he has turned things on against the Rockies. There's a swing and a foul the other way over the head of the umpire down the first base line. "10-0 Marlins." Harvey's 1-1 delivery is swung on and missed.
1-2.
That one's low, count evens at 2.
2-2.
Harvey comes set. Looks towards second base. His 2-2 pitch. Swinging a ground ball hit towards second base. McMahon throws to first, and that'll retire the side. Anderson retired for the first time today. We go to the 9th. Pablo Lopez will try to finish off a Maddox. Complete game shutout, less than 100 pitches. 10-0 Marlins. Rockies need 10 to tie. Charlie Blackmon leads off here in the 9th. 1 for 3 on the day, doubled in the 6th inning. Pablo Lopez starts the inning only at 83 pitches. And we call those Maddoxes if you finish a complete game shutout, less than 100 pitches. It was Greg Maddox's specialty. First pitch, it's going to miss low, ball 1. There is action in the Marlins bullpen. There's a pitch outside, 2-0. It was a term invented by Jason Lukehart, by the way. To make sure we give him credit for that. I believe a lot of people use that term Maddox without giving him credit, and that's not fair to him. Pitch outside, 4-pitch walk to Charlie Blackmon to lead things off. Lukehart writes for a blog that has not been updated in a couple years now, it appears, and it's called Ground Ball with Eyes. If you want to read some of his former writings, talks about Greg Maddux. I'm looking at his best MLB players of the last 30 years. His number 1 is Bonds, number 2 is Clemens, number 3 is Maddux, number 4 Randy Johnson, number 5 is A-Rod. I'll click older posts. We'll see if there's more here. Number 6, Albert Pujols. Number 7, Pedro Martinez. Number 8, Ken Griffey Jr. Number 9, Chipper Jones. Number 10, Jeff Bagwell. And Adrian Beltre, Frank Thomas, Kurt Schilling, Mike Mussina. As Arenado swings and drives one to deep left field way back, and no shutout today for Pablo Lopez. No Maddox for him. Arenado gets the Rockies on the board with his 12th home run of the year, a 2-run shot. It's a 10-2 ball game. .386 feet, the estimated distance, 102.3 mile per hour exit velocity for the Rockies' third baseman. They are on the board. Little doubt about that one. Corey Dickerson just turned and watched where it landed. Wow, that one I think hit the scoreboard up there, that big video board, and that's going to make it the end of the day for Pablo Lopez. Came out to try to pitch that complete game shutout, but Arenado ended that opportunity. Still, what a heck of a day for Pablo Lopez. 8 innings, Rockies could not get anything going against him, did not allow a single run, only 83 pitches through 8 innings. There's still nobody out. Ryan Stanek will be in to try to get the final 3 outs of the game. 31 innings, 36 strikeouts, 17 walks, 5.52 ERA for Stanek, 32nd game of the year. .279 against lefties, .275 righties have hit him, and 6 holds, 1 and 2 is his record. Daniel Murphy will be the first man he faces. He's 0 for 3 today, lined out in the 7th inning. .279, .335, .419 slash on the year for Daniel Murphy. And first pitch is a strike. Slash line includes batting average, on base percentage, and slugging percentage, which you can see on the screen right there. The 0-1 is swung on and missed, quickly 0-2 on Murphy. And high and away, ball 1.
Playing 12, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Stanek into his motion, 1-2 pitch is swung on and fouled off. Murphy's staying in there. The 1-2 is going to miss high. Count evens at 2. Ryan McMahon would be next. Then Garrett Hampson and Tony Wolters. 2-2 pitch. It's going to miss inside. Full count now. There is Ryan McMahon waiting on deck. You can see him just on the very left edge of your screen in the on deck circle. The 3-2 is swung on and fouled back to the screen. Murphy all over that pitch. Rockies were down by 10 runs coming into this inning, now only down by 8. 3-2 is swung on and lifted in the air towards center field. Over is Joyce. He'll camp under it and make the catch for out number 1. Pablo Lopez final line today, 8 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. Came out for the 9th after not allowing any runs, and then Nolan Arenado, the 2-run shot off him, ended his day. But what a performance. Adam Conley, the lefty, Brandon Kinsler, the righty, are both warming up in the bullpen in case Stanek runs into trouble. Ryan McMahon, 1 for 3, he doubled his last time up in the 7th inning. First pitch is a strike on the outside corner. That's the only hit of this series for McMahon. .236, .317 on base, .553 slugging for the Rockies second baseman. That's going to miss inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Playing 11, 1-1.
Swung on and popped up. Going out as a second baseman, VR. Camping under it, he'll make the catch, and the Rockies are down to their final out. Garrett Hampson, last hope for the Rockies, 1 for 3 with a triple in today's ball game. Was back in the 5th inning, 5 for 28 on the season. First pitch from Stanek to Hampson on its way. It's taken for a strike in the upper regions of the zone. Stanek's 0-1 is also in there. Hampson and the Rockies down to their final strike now. Swing and a miss. He got him on strikes, and that's the ball game. Rockies have lost 10 straight ball games, and the Marlins have won this series. Pablo Lopez absolutely mystifies the Rockies today, going 8 shutout innings, and then coming back out for the 9th, only at 83 pitches. Gives up a 2-run home run to Nolan Arenado, who broke up the shutout, but Ryan Stanek comes in to get the next 3. Marlins offense scored early and often today as it was a struggle for Ryan Castellani in his major league debut. So Rockies, 2 runs on 7 hits. Marlins, 10 runs on 15 hits. Pablo Lopez, the win is 4-2. Ryan Castellani 0-1 after his first big league start. Player of the game honors should go to Pablo Lopez. They will not, though. They'll go to Jorge Alfaro, who did have quite a day himself. 2 for 4, 2 triples, 4 runs batted in. That was the last time you saw a multi-triple game from a catcher. Alfaro has pretty good speed. Castellani, in his major league debut, 2 1/3 innings pitched, 6 hits, 6 runs, 1 strikeout, 3 walks. Pablo Lopez, 8 innings, 2 runs on 7 hits, 6 strikeouts, and a walk. Highlights on offense for the Rockies, what little there was. Nolan Arenado goes 2 for 4 with a home run and a double, a 2-run home run in the top of the 9th inning to chase Pablo Lopez from this ball game. Charlie Blackmon goes 1 for 3 with a double, and he scored on the Arenado home run. Garrett Hampson goes 1 for 4 with a triple. David Dahl 1 for 4 with a double. For Miami's offense, Jorge Alfaro, saw what he did today, scored a couple runs as well. Brian Anderson went 4 for 5, 2 singles, 2 doubles to go along with his double and homer from yesterday's ball game, and 2 runs scored. And again, he was not hitting well at all coming into this series, and he has really torn apart Rockies pitching. Garrett Cooper 3 for 5 with a double RBI and 2 runs scored, and Jonathan Villar 1 for 3 RBI, 2 runs scored as well. Corey Dickerson also got a hit and a sac fly RBI as well. Well, Ben Kuchner-Kavich of Purple Row, and I'll let you know this game is not affiliated with Major League Baseball. The Colorado Rockies are MLB The Show 20. We will see you on Tuesday when the Rockies head to Chicago to face the White Sox. White Sox certainly put a number on the Rockies in their recent trip to Coors Field a couple weeks ago. Rockies will try to do better than that, and they'll also try to avoid losing an 11th straight game tomorrow in the final game of this series against the Marlins. Thank you for tuning in.